Welcome back to the King of Kings, our most loyal league since we started doing this service, which is pretty cool. We appreciate that. The King of Kings is a 10-team dynasty league, non-PPR, but it is tight end premium. We were just discussing that before the show, that the way they incorporate the premium for the tight ends is by giving an extra half a point per 10 yards, which means rather than 1.5 per reception for the tight end, it is 1.5 per 10-yard catch. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. So we covered this league 3 episodes last year. We went preseason, in-season, and then postseason. We did a end-of-season recap. So the Baltimore Ravens are the defending 2024 champions. And if you recall, so on the last show, it was in January, it was myself, it was Ryan, and it was Sam. And we predicted that the top 2 contenders for the 2025 season, our early predictions were the Packers and the Jaguars. And the Jaguars finished last place last year. We were predicting that they were going to go worst to first. So I'm really curious to see how the offseason went for these teams, how the rookie drafts and trades and everything has gone down, and see if we still feel the same way about these two teams, or maybe somebody else made some moves and now they're the favorite. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to start with the defending champion Baltimore Ravens. They are quarterbacked by Patrick Mahomes. I know Bengals fans use the Ravens. I know. I hear you. Huh? Are you complaining that the Ravens are the champions because you're a Bengals fan?
No. I said let's go, Derek. He's the owner.
I thought you said, damn it.
Oh, damn it.
All right. So Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. Then we got Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, this is like, if these 2 running backs can stay healthy and perform at their highest level, we've got, the all-time great running back room already. Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Pickens, Brock Bowers. I can see why this team is the defending champions. Now our 2 flex spots currently are DeAndre Swift and Adam Thielen. We got on the bench, we got Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Got some Jordan Mason hanging on for life. Kendre Miller. Will Shipley, I think, is a sneaky handcuff this year. I like him. We got Rashee Rice. Suspension is coming. Who knows when? Who knows how long? We'll talk about that. Calvin Ridley, Devontae Smith, and the resurgent Darren Waller.
Who knew?
So why don't we go through the roster? Oh, we got the taxi squad as well. We got Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is a fun sleeper here, as well as Matthew Golden, first-round pick, and we don't have to talk about the defenses. So first, impression, what stands out to you guys about this roster? Do you think that they are equipped to defend their title?
I do. I think, I'm not really turned on by Thielen in the flex, but he's got plenty of other options. Most particularly, I like Jordan Mason. I think at the end of the season, he might end up being a league winner for a lot of fantasy football teams, because I think he's going to slowly overtake that role and relegate Jones to being primarily a pass catcher. But Warren is always dependable in a flex, and Rashee Rice isn't even in the lineup. So he and Ridley, I think are both. I mean, those are really good names that are like on the bench at the moment.
I think those are your flex plays.
Yeah. But it's a strong team. I can see why they won.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys very much. I'm looking at those 3 wide receivers on his bench, and they can easily alternate in between DeAndre Swift and Adam Thielen. Thielen, he showed a little bit of production on the field last year because the Panthers didn't have much. DeAndre Swift has been getting steamed up this offseason going into Ben Johnson's first year as head coach of the Chicago Bears. I really like that there is the Mahomes and the right stack. In a small league like this, you want to be able to have studs, and clearly, the firepower is there on this team. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the Rashee Rice suspension, but he could end up being a league winner for us if he is healthy, depending on the length of that suspension. He might come in at week 13, 14, just before playoffs, and really give a boost to this team to see if we can go back to back.
Yeah, I think the only negative I'm seeing here is if one of Saquon or Christian McCaffrey go down, let alone both, which is a possibility. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But the running backs are kind of thin. Mason isn't there yet, but he will be. McLaughlin's not going to do anything for you. Kendre Miller's probably not going to do anything for you. And I'm just not that impressed with Brian Robinson Jr. I do think DeAndre Swift will have a good season, so he should be a mainstay in the lineup.
We lose Saquon Barkley. We got league winner Will Shipley on the bench.
That's true. Yeah, as long as AJ Dillon doesn't take that role.
Not worried about it.
Oh, dude, don't count him out, man. I haven't been worried about him in years.
He
always rears his ugly head.
Yeah, the only news that we're going to get about AJ Dillon is him ranking up in Farmville. I don't think there's anything there. There might be a possibility, like we talked about JCM earlier. He's getting really steamed up. Reports out of camp are all positive. And, he might not be one that takes Austin Eckler's role, even though he is kind of a good pass catching back. We know what Brian Robinson is, and that's kind of just a plotter. He's not going to go and get you any bonuses when you look at the scoring in here. So Krosky Merritt might be somebody that comes off your taxi squad and provides in the last couple of weeks of the season for you as well.
Yeah, he's got a steep hill to climb, though, between Eckler and Robinson and who's the guy that had like one big game last year?
Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez are there as well.
Yeah, McNichols and Rodriguez. I just I know JCM did hurt his shoulder in practice the other day. It doesn't look bad, but if I just think at this stage he really can't afford to be missing many practices and opportunities to move up that depth chart. Right now, he's at best number 3.
Who starts more games at quarterback on this roster? Patrick Mahomes or Bo Nix?
Mahomes for me.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I think Mahomes is going to have a really good season this year. There's just something to be said for, last year their defense was so good that they were in a lot of close games if the offense was kind of sputtering. Now they've got more weapons. They've got Rashee back. They've got Pacheco back. They drafted Jalen Royals, who I think is dangerous. And Mahomes just lost a Super Bowl. And he might tell you all day that doesn't affect the way he plays. But I don't know. Let's wait and see, I guess.
All right. Any last comments about this team? We don't have any first-round picks until 2028. But with as strong as a roster as this team has, I'm not really that worried about it.
No, not at all.
All right.
Agreed.
How about one more thing? I don't think we talked about Matthew Golden. How do we feel about Matthew Golden? Yeah, you're nay.
I like Matthew.
Yeah, I've had to go and kind of change my take on my pre-draft process. I think the news that we've been hearing out of camp is getting too loud to ignore now. Analytically, I don't think he really shone at Texas, at least for a big enough sample size for me to feel like getting steamed up into the late first round or even the early second was really justifiable at the point. But by all accounts right now, he's looking very good.
Yeah, and frankly, on that team, I don't think I mean, you have to be a complete alpha to find your way into that lineup with some consistency, because Jaden Reed doesn't really impress me that much. And Dobbs and Wicks are just kind of ho-hum. You know what I mean? They can do certain things, but Dobbs has got his own competition.
Receiver 2s and 3s.
It is.
All right. Let's move on to the Buffalo Bills. So we got Josh Allen at quarterback. We got Chase Brown, Trevion Henderson, Roman Dunze. We got Keon Coleman. Our second quarterback is J.J. McCarthy. He's, a breakout candidate in his technically second season. Khalil Herbert for some reason, Roshan Johnson, Quentin Johnston, Ricky Pearsall. We'll have to talk about him. Is he a breakout candidate? How do I feel about that? Evan Ingram and Dalton Kincaid. Third tight end, Chigga Okonkwo. I like Josh Brooks slightly. Stephon Diggs. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about Kyle Monungai, Jalen Waddle, and then we got the IR spots. We got Joe Mixon and Jordan Addison on the taxi squad.
Then we got Judkins, Emeka Egbuka, and Ted McMillan all on the taxi squad.
Did you lose me?
Well, yeah, I lost you for a minute.
All right.
That's all right. You're back
all
now.
Right, cool. I got through the whole roster.
I went through the IR in the taxi.
So did I, but I didn't know I was going.
Well, at least we know our bases are covered.
Yes, I appreciate it.
And just looking at this team too, it's also got, it's got 2 first, 26 first. That taxi squad, I'm high on all 3 of those players. It's got Jordan Addison on the IR. Like, this team from the initial look is going to be sustainable for quite a few years, and it could be pushing as early as this season if we see a breakout from Roma Dunze. And what Henderson's doing right now in the spring or in the preseason games is electric.
Yeah,
it's that is great. I hope you guys filled your bags on Trevion Henderson shares too.
Oh, yeah, and I want to say this for the league when they're watching this. We don't care about the kickers and defenses.
Not at all.
So we're not going to, and plus the scoring is so involved.
I said that when I was gone. I was talking about how we don't care about the kickers and defenses, but nobody heard me.
Right. I just wanted to make it clear. They're like, why didn't we talk about Dallas's defense?
You mean you don't care about backup kicker Will Lutz?
No. Turns out I don't.
All right. Well, I think this taxi squad is like the future starting lineup of this roster.
Yeah, big time. Let alone Addison being on the IR, and who knows what's going on with Mixon? Maybe he comes back this year. I guess he is. But the fact that they're not saying anything about him is really off-putting.
He is off my board in seasonal leagues.
Mine too.
Can't touch
yes.
Yep.
Mine too, but not till after I drafted him in a lot of ball.
All right. Yeah, I love Chase Brown this year. I love Tedero McMillan, one of my most drafted players this year. And Emeka Egbuka is a guy that after the draft I was nervous about because I thought we were going to have a healthy Chris Godwin. Lately, over the last month or so, I've been pressing that button very often.
Yeah.
His ADP keeps rising, and I keep drafting him.
Yeah, well, I mean, Godwin, again, he's another one. Who knows when he's actually coming back? He sounds a lot more like week 5, week 6, week 7. I mean, the guy dislocated his ankle, and it looked like his foot was hanging off his leg.
I think he must have.
I can't imagine he's like 100%.
He must have had some type of setback because things, all reports, he was on track at the beginning of the offseason. The Patriots were throwing money at him. The Buccaneers seem to have no problem re-signing him to a 3-year deal. I don't know if that would happen if what's going on with him now is clear at that time.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine being one of those teams that had a whole bunch of free agent money and you didn't lock him down, and now you're like, oh, thank God.
I think this team down the street from me dodged a big bullet.
Yeah.
All right. I do want to touch on Ricky Pearsall. Are we in on the breakout or out?
I'm in on Pearsall. I think he is. First of all, he's got the draft capital, so they saw something. I think he's a better receiver than Juwan Johnson. He can do a lot of Debo-like things where if you get him in space, he can pull away from people and navigate through this, second tier of defenders. So I like him. Now, I mean, I think he's got top 20 upside. Maybe 25. But the thing is, you got Kittle and McCaffrey ahead of you. So, but if either one of them goes down, I think his upside goes to top 15. I mean, realistically, San Francisco is going to be throwing the ball a lot if anything happens to McCaffrey.
Yeah, I agree. I'm fine. The breakout of Ricky Pearsall. I liked him as a prospect. I know he got dinged because he was a little bit older, but we also that clip from Florida where he made that sick one-handed grab. I like his route running. He kind of has a knack to find the open spots in the field, similar to what Brandon Ayuk is able to do. Not to say that that's a direct comparison as a player, but there isn't very many options right now. Sam said there's CMC and there's Kittle, but we both know that they get banged up and they can be volatile assets at time. And, Ricky Pearsall might just be a byproduct of all the opportunity he's going to have. 400
yards and 3 touchdowns last year. I think he's going to obliterate that.
After missing training camp and half the season and being shot.
Yeah.
Well,
and he didn't even really start. He started 2 games early when he wasn't ready, just because they were so decimated. And then the last 2 games of the season, he put together 19 targets, and one game had 8 for 141 with a touchdown against the Lions. So what I love is he runs a 4.
Yeah, he's fast. Yeah. I believe I wasn't really paying attention, but I know today, I believe it was today, the 49ers played a preseason game. He had 3 catches on the first 3 catches, 42 yards on the first drive of the game. So he's somebody that I know it's preseason, but somebody they're clearly wanting to get involved early in the offense. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I think he could be the de facto number 1. And even when Ayuk eventually comes back, we saw what he did last year when he was rusty. And if you thought last year was rusty, wait to see him this year.
Yeah, I mean, even without Juwan Jennings, I was drafting a lot of Juwan Jennings for a while, and then with this calf injury / contract issue,
right?
I flipped that to Pearsall. All right. Any last words before we move on to the Cowboys?
No, let's move on to the Cowboys. You want me to take this one?
Yeah, why don't you take this one?
All right. So the Dallas Cowboys, we're starting off with, ironically enough, in the same state, C.J. Stroud, Bucky Irving, Ty J. Spears, who's having a little bit of ankle. He's got Nico Collins paired up with Stroud. I remember this league now. There's a bunch of people with stacks.
Yeah.
Nico Collins to pair with Stroud. Mike Evans, all he does is catch touchdowns. Cortland Sutton. I think Hawkinson is super underrated at tight end. It's like when he was hurt, everybody forgot about him. Devin Neal is not going to be in that flex spot. But Jameson Williams, I'm interested to hear what you guys, your thoughts are on Jameson. We got Shedeur. There's a Shedeur sighting on the bench along with Bryce Young, Nick Chubb, washed, Blake Corum, Chuba Hubbard, Jordan James, who, I mean, in San Francisco, is it just, I mean, he has such good luck with running backs, but he also has such bad luck with running backs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he makes them really good, and then they all get hurt.
As long as he doesn't pound the table for them, they're fine.
Right. Finishing up with Tony Pollard, Brashard Smith, Sean Tucker, two nice backups there. Jacoby Myers, Cedric Tillman, who I like, Dallas Goedert, who is also underrated, really underrated at tight end here, except for Kraft, who I think is probably the starter. Well, not over Hawkinson. Rico Dowdle, Jalen McMillan, DJ Moore, and then we've got Jaden Blue and Trevor Etienne on the taxi, who's like his older brother, just a worse version.
That's not a high bar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Trevor did it. I mean, Travis did it. He's the one that set the bar. Dane, what are you thinking about this team here?
I'm looking at it, and in a 10-team league, this is just going to end up being a team that is kind of middle of the road. It has Nico, it has Bucky. In a 1 QB, I'm going to be looking for a quarterback that has some mobility to him, gives you a higher ceiling. I don't
Kyler
think
Murray on the waiver wire.
Yeah, that would be a great pickup. You could drop Nick Chubb right now and get Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Unless you're over your salary cap.
There are a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys.
Yeah. And like you see Jameson Williams, you see Cortland Sutton, like this team is starting to age out as well. It's just something that I'm probably going and looking. Can I go and get my first back? Can I trade Bucky Irving and try to rebuild this thing a little bit? If Mike Evans gets hurt, what's his value going to be in a small league like this? You have Devin Neal, like Sam said, you have a few nice handcuffs. You have Jacoby Myers, but ultimately, I think this team is maybe going to sneak into last place of the playoffs and get obliterated. Like, I think I'm getting ahead of it. I'm trying to get my first round picks back, and I'm going to retool and maybe wait until some of these other teams start to age out or, get some injuries, and then I can take advantage of that and make some swaps.
Yeah, something has to really go right for this team to have any chance against those first couple of teams that we talked about. Those are juggernauts. This is just your average middle of the road team with very little upside.
I will say, looking at Neil, I got no problem with Jameson. I think he's going to have a big season. I think you could outperform Amon-Ra.
Sam, come on now.
Hot take alert.
There's hot takes and then there's that take.
Hot take. But this team, I agree that it should probably sell off some pieces. Until they do that, I don't see why one of these other tight ends isn't in that flex spot. If they're making, 1.5 per 10 yards, That's a nice little bonus. And you could get, a Kraft out there along with Hawkinson and maybe make a little noise with that. But I agree with you guys. This is probably a team that should think about selling. And if they sell a reasonable amount of these guys, they could get a lot of first round capital out of this.
Yeah, they got a lot of cap penalties going on here. I mean, I'm not super familiar with how their salary cap works. I know we've been through that before.
Yep, we did that last year.
But they had a pretty big hit from
and then they told us with like 5 minutes to go in the video, and we were like,
like I'm looking at his first cap hit penalty, and it's dropped Colson Loveland.
Yeah.
And
there goes your first round pick from.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
So this might be, somebody, I don't know if this is a home league, if you guys had asked that, but it might be somebody who's
somebody's son,
mediocrely average, right? Like just not on top of it all the time. And
if the good players really all have a good season together, this team could sneak into the bottom of the playoffs. But I think you're right, Dane. Once they get there, they're probably going to be put out immediately by a top seed.
Now, the good news is they do have the pieces to sell. Bucky Irving will get a big return. Jamison Williams will get a big return. If you time it right to the right team, Mike Evans could get a big return.
Hawkinson.
You have Chuba Hubbard, you have Tony Pollard. Like it's kind of the,
once injuries start happening.
Yeah. It's kind of the broken record of how you rebuild, right? You're going to sell off your old vets. You're going to sell your running backs. And like you guys said, once bye weeks start to hit, you can sell some of these other running backs that might be spot starts. You can sell Goddard. You can sell Hawkinson, sell the tight end that's going to give you the best return, because really
you could collect a ton of capital from this team. It just depends on whether you want to wait until you're 2-4 and risk the fact that you're 3-3 and you're like, I'm kind of headed towards the playoffs. You're not going to do anything when you get there. You're not going to win this league.
No, and you have to be attentive, because in a small team like this, you have to almost be ahead of the game and win that race to last place, right? If somebody starts selling before you, then that's tough.
Speaking of which, I wanted to bring up one other thing, and I think Alex and I said this earlier this year. You guys should really consider moving your playoffs back a week.
That's right. They were an week 18 championship, weren't they?
Yes. Yes. I saw it when I was looking over the teams earlier, and I was like, oh yeah. I mean, what do you do week 18? Week 17 sometimes is already hard enough.
Yes.
Without week 18 people putting everybody down. And if you're successful, the chances are you've got players on good teams.
You're starting a whole different team out there sometimes.
Right. Unless they think that's part of the fun. And I could see that.
I mean, they also play on fan tracks. So.
Right. Alex doesn't like fan tracks.
I mean, I will say it's better than the MFL league we tried to navigate the last time we did it.
Oh yeah,
but that was rough.
Yeah, MFL plus IDP, that threw us for a loop.
That was brutal. At least they all had really great IDP rosters, though.
That's right.
All right. If only this team had a nice young tight end to build around.
Right. Like a
Colson Loveland or something.
Oh, like a Colson Loveland. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, the same offense. The rookie season breakout, Sam Laporta. Not that I'm in on that narrative. But
should we continue on to Thomas's Denver
for
Broncos?
the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, let's get the Broncos.
Thomas is not just 4 English muffins anymore. Dane, you want to walk us through the Broncos?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So starting at quarterback, he's got Lamar Jackson, Caleb Johnson, Alvin Kamara as his starting running backs, Puka Nacua, Deebo Samuel, Xavier Worthy as starting wide receivers, Travis Kelce at tight end, J.K. Dobbins, and David Montgomery as flexes. Jalen Milroe and Caleb Williams on the bench as quarterbacks. Najee Harris, Woody Marks, Elijah Mitchell, Keenan Allen, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Christian Watson, Pat Bryant, and Jonnu Smith on the bench. Tank Dell on the IR. Does their cap hit count on the IR? Did you guys cover this last year? Or is it like is it pretty real and that 1.3 is off the books?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to the taxi squad. It's I like this taxi squad. It's got Dylan Sampson, Luther Burden, Mason Taylor, Jake Bates, Young Ho Koo, Cleveland and Detroit as defense. Yes, you do. I play kicker and defense in my home league, so you'll listen.
I do too, and I don't care about him there either.
You should. All right, guys. So looking at this team, he's got Lamar and Puka, Xavier Worthy. Those stand out as kind of the studs on this roster right now. Anything else you guys see immediately when I read this roster to you that you like, that needs to get fixed? Let's hear what you got.
I'm looking for talent. I'm having a hard time finding it.
Yeah, it's kind of just it falls off quite substantially after the first 3 players that I listed.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, there's a lot of middling guys here. You know what I mean? Or possibly older. I still think like Keenan Allen could have a good year. And I was going to say that about the other team that had Stephon Diggs. I don't know if it's just because I'm old and I love these guys. But I'm a sucker for a good route runner. So that never goes out of style. But yeah, there's nobody that's like jumping off the page like that can just, put up with the exception of Lamar, put up like a 4 TD game and save your butt one week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling with Puka with the uncertainty with Stafford?
I'm terrified. I was already a little bit nervous about Puka with, Devontae Adams and,
I'm already nervous about Puka with his own injuries.
That's another thing.
He's
the way
always
he
got
plays,
something nagging. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, the way he plays. I mean, if a train was trying to tackle him, he would still try to, run it over.
Yeah.
And I think I'm worried a little bit of Puka more because of what Sam said with his own injuries. I think he is, probably one of the only wide receivers in the league that you can consider QB proof. I think that, not just leading to the storyline that Devontae Adams clearly hates Jimmy G. I think that McVay just loves Puka that much that he is going to scheme everything and just feed him targets. And that's going to be whatever the hell Jimmy G can throw at him because the talent isn't there anymore. I think Puka is going to be fine. Maybe you see him slide a little bit down in draft boards, but I think the value is going to stay the same regardless of the Stafford news.
I'm pretty sure Packers fans put a curse on Devontae Adams when he asked for a trade because his quarterback situation has been nothing but awful every year since he's left the Packers.
Should have stayed humble.
But you did mention that Puka Nacua is a quarterback proof. Well, one of the other, I think, receivers in the NFL that's also quarterback proof is Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Devontae Adams absolutely is.
There's a non-zero chance that Devontae Adams is the wide receiver one in this offense.
Although Aiden O'Connell tried to prove us wrong on that point. I agree with you. I think if you're not looking at Devontae as the number one on this team as the receiving option, I think you're I think you're wrong.
Okay. Bring it on, guys.
I mean, it's kind of a 1A, 1B scenario, I guess. I don't see,
That's an issue,
Devontae
though.
being like worlds ahead of Puka.
But that's an issue. If you're, and I know this is dynasty, but in seasonal leagues, people are drafting Puka Nacua, at the 1-2 turn. If we don't even know 100% sure that he's the wide receiver one in his own offense, that terrifies me.
Well, and that's it. And we've seen Devontae Adams get steamed up into the 3rd and 4th round. So are you guys kind of hinting that they're just going to end up cannibalizing each other and we're overdrafting both of them right now?
Well, if it wasn't for the back injury, the answer would just be to draft Matthew Stafford. But
I mean, Stafford's on waivers, but you have Lamar, so you can follow the trend in this league and just go in and get your stacks and your handcuffs.
Right. Well, he's doing okay. He's doing okay at quarterback anyhow.
Yeah. This team might be worse than the last one.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
I mean, I keep scrolling trying to find somebody I'd like to talk about, and
it's just like I said. There's just nobody that jumps off the page.
You mean Najee Harris doesn't catch your eye?
I can't hang my hat on Najee Harris.
Soundboard.
Actually, I probably can.
All right. Okay. How about the taxi squad? We like the taxi squad. Mason Taylor, Luther Burden, Dylan Sampson, maybe get an opportunity this year.
I like Luther. I always have.
Yep.
We were talking about him for a while as being like one of the prizes of this draft before he slipped. And I like Mason Taylor much further down the road. I don't think he's going to have an impact in the next 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that doesn't mean that I know what they're going to do there, but it does kind of, tell you what I think about that team.
So Alex, do you like Mason Taylor more as a prospect or just the opportunity he's going to have with the Jets because there's Garrett Wilson and seemingly nothing else, since all the reports about Breece Hall are just he's dead. He needs to get traded.
So I liked Mason Taylor as a prospect, and I liked him even more after he went to the Jets. I have drafted an embarrassing number of Mason Taylor at the end of my underdog drafts this year, stacking with my embarrassing number of Justin Fields teams.
Hey, he had a great game today. He was 1 for 4 for 5 yards.
It's only preseason. We don't need him to throw the ball. We just need him to run it.
He ran 1 carry, 5 yards.
I saw week 1. He ran for a touchdown. That's all I need.
Yeah, but hope is the most dangerous thing a fantasy manager can have.
Okay, I can't look at this team anymore.
All right, let's move on. How about one of our favorites from when we talked about this league in January? The Green Bay Packers. This is Michelle, and Michelle is quarterbacked by Justin Herbert. We got a running back. We got Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
We got Travis Hunter at wide receiver. That's going to be an interesting discussion, I think. DK Metcalf, Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride, Devon Achane, Jaden Reed. On the bench, we got Jordan Love, Tyler Algier, Trey Benson. My guy, Ray Davis, Jerome Ford, the guy who just can never, ever stay healthy, Marshawn Lloyd.
He can't catch a break, man.
Chris Olave, We're not going to go through the whole roster here. Braylon Allen, Cole Kmetz, Trey Harris on the taxi squad, and Dicker the kicker. But we don't care about him. All right, this is a little bit better. We got some real players on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel
Got a
like
lot
the
of potential
bench.
on this roster.
I feel like the bench is a little light.
Yep.
You know, there's some guys I think that will end up. You know, I think Benson will have that job by the end of the season. And Ford will have.
Hot take alert. You're just gonna pass over that with.
Oh, I don't think that's a hot take at all.
That's pretty hot.
Dude, last year was the first time Connor's ever stayed healthy. He played 16 games.
Believe me, I know. I made video after video after video last year talking about Trey Benson. We got to draft him because James Conner never stays healthy. I love Trey Benson, but Trey Benson just likes to run into his offensive line.
Trey Benson is.
He's either banging into his offensive line or he's ripping off a 75-yard run. There's no in between.
Trey Benson is like among the leaders in per carry, even on the few carries he had last year.
Because he had an 80-yard run.
At missed tackles.
Okay.
And 3 yards after contact every time. I don't see that as just running into the offensive line.
So I'm not completely out on Trey Benson. I made a video about my top 10 handcuff running backs. He's my number 7. I still like Trey Benson. But I don't think he's going to take over that backfield by any means. He's the anti-James Conner.
No, he's going to take over the backfield, and I'll tell you why. Because this class was absolutely loaded at running back, and Arizona could not have been more disinterested.
Yeah, that doesn't help me much.
They're standing by their man.
I think they just had so many other holes to fill.
Shut up. Nobody's talking to you.
Nope.
They also stood by their man Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch by not drafting any wide receivers.
And Marv.
Well, doesn't help my case here.
All right. You guys from this league, mark my words. You remind us later when Trey Benson is starting. We have a midseason with these guys.
Week 18. He's perfect for
week 18. So we'll see him in the championship when he's a league winner. Michelle, I'm with you. You got.
I don't think it matters.
I don't like, but you got a lot of people I do like.
But there's enough firepower in there. It doesn't really matter if it's Jaden Reed in that last flex, if it's Trey Benson, if it's, you could have Jalen Wright in there putting up zeros for you. And this team has enough studs that it's going to make some noise.
Yeah, I think you just put the highest upside guy in that spot, and you just watch Devon Achane, watch Bijan, watch whoever else, Malik Neighbors, put up 25 points a week for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's. How do we feel?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Even though I just said that I dislike him, get rid of Joe Milton and get Kyler Murray because you have McBride and you have Benson.
How is every team we talked about so far has somebody that could drop and pick up Kyler Murray? I don't understand. I mean, some guy has Shador Sanders.
Yep.
Right.
Who, by the way, was not as impressive as I was expecting. When I heard Shador Sanders had this great preseason game, and I watched it.
Could you guys have $32.6 million sitting on your bench?
I couldn't have $36.2 million.
I'll take it.
No matter where I'd put it.
But think of it like that.
That's true. That's true. We do forget about that part. We forget about that.
That's the only thing is if you have to go and cut all of your bench. So it does play into the strategy there that you need to I lost the team. There we go. Right. So you'd have to go. Jordan Love's only $13 million as your backup quarterback.
Woo,
so it is a bit of that game as well, too, right?
Look at Josh Palmer for $10.7 million.
Canadian Josh Palmer getting paid. That's like
Yeah,
15
you're right.
mil
You're
Canadian.
right. You're right about the salary cap thing. Kyler's very expensive for what he's going to give you. I'll concede to that.
Cut
Okay.
Milton and cut somebody else. Cut Algier. Look at all the handcuffs you got.
Yeah, but Algier,
You have to cut 30 Kyler Algiers.
Well, I'm just saying you can add stuff up. I don't know how much.
Yeah, drop the
Kyler's
whole
getting.
bench. That's what you got to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you cut $10 million Cole Kmet.
I mean, you could cut Komet and Jordan Josh Palmer. That's going to clear up 20 million for you right there. But again, you have you're okay. I mean, you could drop 60 million Herbert though.
And you're going to get the same production for half the price.
Mil, how much can Kyler Murray be?
Murray is 32.6. So if you could go to somebody and trade, go find the Ladd McConkey owner, since the stack is the theme, and trade Herbert to fill in your flex spot or upgrade on DK Metcalf. Go pick up Kyler Murray, get the stack that's probably going to be a league winner for you.
Yeah.
Right. You can navigate like that and play around with the money a bit.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Murray to McBride would just, I mean, that would feed families.
Yep.
All right. How do we feel about Travis Hunter? What's happening?
Love him. Love him.
Yeah. All systems go.
I love him more than Brian Thomas Jr.
Ooh.
I am just full of hot takes tonight.
Yeah, I am very skeptical.
Okay.
In a vacuum, I like Travis Hunter. He's a good player. He's a good receiver. I think he's Garrett Wilson like as a wide receiver. But I'm concerned about the whole playing on the other side thing. It's just it terrifies me. If you're telling me I could draft him in the 8th, 9th round of a redraft league, I'm for it. And he's going like the 5th, 6th round. I'm a little bit.
I'm less skeptical of him playing on both sides of the ball, and I'm more worried about Trevor Lawrence having to support Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., and Bichelle Tootin when he becomes a league winner.
And who?
And Bichelle Tootin.
Yeah, okay.
Can Trevor Lawrence support those three?
We're talking about this year.
I know. Tootin produces Trey Benson.
Well, my worry is that
yeah, stop it. You're gonna make me break my microphone.
But where is he spending his time preparing for these games? Because he can't practice on both sides of the ball. He can't be in both offensive meetings and defensive meetings. I think at Colorado, he was practicing with the defense. He was sitting in on the defensive meetings, and he was just showing up in the huddle on the offense. That's not. I just don't think that's going to work in the NFL. You can't just walk into the huddle and be like, "All right, here I am. What do I run?"
Well, here's an interesting question. When I was looking at the scoring earlier, among the defensive stuff, it did have, like, if an individual player has an interception, like if an offensive player has an interception or a fumble recovery. So now, I mean, maybe you're not getting all the IDP scoring, but maybe he does have a little bit of a bonus, and that's why he's penciled in for 31 million.
So, all right. So that'll be great on his 2 interceptions this year. It would be fantastic.
Well, but I'm just saying, I mean, just the possibility of him playing both ways could explain that sort of, I mean, that's 14 million more than McBride.
Okay. All right. I'm already ready for, coming back to this show at the end of the season and looking like an idiot for this take. So I'm prepared. I'm ready. Most of my takes end that way. So
let's move on because I got more hot takes.
So we predicted that the Jacksonville Jaguars could potentially go worst to first prior to the season. So I'm interested to see if we still feel that way.
Okay,
right,
and Jacksonville Jaguars is also the commissioner, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yes, Michael Jordan.
Let me
Michael Jordan.
Let me tell you about this.
Okay,
There's no Michael Jordan here. They do have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, and he's got his wide receiver, Brian Thomas Jr. Ashton Genty he got, I'm assuming with the first pick. Jonathan Taylor, Marvin Harrison, Drake London, who blew up last year and I think continues to. Laporta, who just left the game yesterday. I don't know how serious it was. Omarion Hampton, also very nice. RJ Harvey, also very nice. I think this is why we were pointing at him, because of the draft picks.
No? Yeah. Oh, because of his draft picks. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So Drake May, DJ Giddens, Kimani Vidal, I don't even know if he's going to make a team now. Hot take. Xavier Legette, who is not going to be a starting wide receiver this year. Hot take. Patrick Washington, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange. So he's got two more Jaguars on the bench. Oh, three. Tank Bigsby. And some guy named Sincere.
A man named Sincere.
And Brandon Ayuk on the IR. We'll see when he comes back. And there's your boy Bayshaw Newton. Another Jew. Man, so okay. Is this guy actually from Jacksonville? I mean, I know the name of the team is the Jacksonville Jaguars, but is that his team? Because
he's got Cam Little and he's got their defense too.
It's just crazy to me.
It's Urban Meyer.
Are you sure it's not Frank Reich? Could be him.
Yeah, looking at this team, you guys, like I don't think if it's hard to go and label it as a team that can go from worst to first. And he's got all that draft capital, like the moves that can be made, whether you want to hold and contend. Like all I'm doing right now is, like I told you guys backstage, I'm putting Drake May as the starter. I know there's a stack there. I think Drake May is just going to.
But he's not a Jaguar.
I don't care. Buck the trend. And yeah, like I'm looking at this team and it's making a run for sure.
Yeah, and it's young enough,
sustainable.
It's young enough that it's going to keep making a run.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have hardly anybody aging out, save for maybe a Hunter Henry.
Yeah,
I would love to go back and see.
Jonathan Taylor.
I would love to see some of the trades that were made to get the draft capital, to get some of the studs. Like this might have been, a punt in the startup, or whether they did an auction. And this is just,
I believe they've been playing for a number of years. Do you remember, Alex?
I don't remember, but I think you're right though. I think they've been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So he could have at some point torn down. And this is the result of building back up.
Yeah, well done. You should be really happy with this team. I would even look to, if you want to put a stranglehold on the rest of the league, like, somebody like Marv, I'm probably taking him and one of those extra firsts, and I'm going to see if I can tier up.
Oh, and by the way,
to like Travis Hunter.
By the way, have you looked at the draft picks? Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4 firsts in 2026, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 2027.
I remember now.
Yeah, this team This is going to be the King of Kings right here.
Yes, it is going to be the King of Kings, and I think we said that in January.
Yeah, this is
or something along those lines. It's time to play the game. Time to play the games.
Yeah, this is just awesome work, Michael. Like the team that you put here is going to be a league champ for a while, and you're going to have the rest of the managers in the league pretty pissed off at having to just donate for a few years.
Yeah, you can call the three of us when you need to fill those orphans.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to contend with this team.
Yeah, in all seriousness, though, it's a great job building it up, and it's undeniable, really, at this point. I mean, I guess maybe you could get a little more help at tight end, but why? I mean, it doesn't matter.
We got Sam Laporta.
Laporta, you want to bounce back. I'm just saying if he were to continue on the same path of and he doesn't have Ben Johnson now.
I mean, you could go pick up Colson Loveland. I don't know if he's still available from the guy who dropped him.
Maybe Colson Loveland is available.
Don't see him on waivers, so I don't know if he's in salary cap jail right now, so he's untouchable.
All right. Well, I know we're calling you the King of Kings, but you have to win this year in order to try to repeat next year.
My only worry is that this guy is going to fall too in love with Jaguars and just make some wrong decisions.
Well, here's the good news. The good news is the Jaguars will not be playing in January. So for that Week 18 championship, he's going to be stacked.
That's right. That's when you're going to get your Bayshore 2 in the league winner week.
Stop that.
All right, guys. You think we're good to go on to the Rams?
Yeah, we're definitely
done drooling over that team.
Yeah.
All right. So the LA Rams, Joe Burrow, Aaron Jones, Tyrone Tracy, Jamar Chase, Josh Downs, Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews, James Conner, Josh Jacobs, Jarquez Hunter, Keaton Mitchell, Kyron Williams, Marquise Brown, Jalen Coker, Ladd McConkey, Malik Washington, Noah Gray, Isaiah Likely, Ben Sinnott, Isaac Grendo, Zach Moss, Tyreek Hill, they're on the IR. Cam Scadaboo is your taxi squad. And if my computer will load and let me scroll down. No 26 first.
Oh. That's okay.
All right. So what do you guys think?
I like this team.
I saw you celebrating over there. You must. Is it the?
I was celebrating
there's Bengals.
Celebrating Burrow and Chase, obviously. But I like the team.
I thought it was James Conner.
I like the team overall. I like James Conner a lot. I'm just speaking the truth when I say that Benson is going to take over that job when Conner goes down for 2 weeks, and then he's not going to give it back.
And then you're going to be shocked when it's Amari DiMercado, playing 50% of the snaps.
Just shut up.
Isn't that what happened last year?
Yeah, next thing you're going to tell me is Damian Pierce is going to start for the Texans.
So
he could.
So when you look at the starting lineup, you see that Tyrone Tracy can probably get replaced with Kyron Williams. You can put Ladd McConkey where Cooper Kupp is or where Josh Downs is. I'm probably taking one of these veteran running backs, and I'm addressing wide receiver help.
Yeah.
Off first glance, you have James Conner, Josh Jacobs. I want to go and fill that wide receiver 3 spot because I think with this Bengals stack, you have the high upside weeks that can do damage. And I think if you're only one player away, you might as well go and take that shot. Because if and when you make the playoffs, we all know that anything can happen on any week. If you had to go and replace a few starters, sure, then maybe you have different decisions. But I think when you can have Jamar Chase and Ladd McConkey, I'm going to go and try and acquire another wide receiver. If you need cap space, I'm getting rid of Noah Gray and Ben Sinnott. I don't think there's anything there. If you want to be able to package up Marquise Brown with one of those running backs, if he holds any value and you can remove some of that cap hit, sure, by all means, go ahead and do something like that as well.
This is completely off topic and probably irrelevant. Well, who decides the salary of these defenses? How are the Colts worth $10 million? And then you got the Panthers and the Saints at 3.2.
I don't know. Maybe they just tear it out, or I don't know if it's a.
It might go off placement,
Maybe.
like total point placement.
Yeah. All right, doesn't matter. Just something I noticed.
I guess it could be. You ready for my other? Part.
You got another hot take?
Part 2 of my hot take from the last team.
All right.
The reason Xavier Legette is not going to be starting this year is because Jalen Coker is a man.
Ooh,
you're goddamn right.
And he is good. He's not getting any love. People love to hate him for some reason. But I swear to God, every time that ball's in the air, he comes down with it, no matter how tight the coverage is.
We gave him a lot of love on our sleeper show last year, a couple times.
Yeah, I think he's a definite compliment to Ted McMillan.
Yeah.
And Legette's going to be, relegated to I don't know, playing the slot or what, but.
Yeah, Coker
was going to be one of those surprises for me on the DGen show that you guys did Friday afternoon that I couldn't make. Strong hands, good route runner, understands how to use his big frame, and he's quite nuanced in his routes. Again, kind of similar to what I said about Ricky Purcell. He knows how to find that soft spot. And he already built a rapport with Dave Canales, and he built that with Bryce Young, and we're hearing really good reports out of that. So I think that's something to build off of. And if he can stay on the field, we had JT Sanders, who we all kind of had high hopes for. He's had injury issues. Legette is a bum. I don't know how he holds any more value in any of these leagues. I think Coker is the clear number 2 on this team.
Yeah, I think somebody's I think maybe they're holding Legette's rights so they can get a cut of his podcast when it comes out. Because how funny would that be?
I think they're waiting to trade Legette to the Cowboys for a 4th. Is that what they traded Mingo for?
Oh, well, something like that.
Wasn't it a 2nd or something like that?
They got a 4th for Mingo?
It was something. I can't even remember what they paid, but
it was a 4th.
Yeah. So they're probably going to do something like that again. Somebody else will hold value on a big, young wide receiver that has yak abilities, and they'll think that they can do something with him.
I didn't see, or I didn't hear you say also that Tyreek Hill is on the IR, and I'm not committed to either or, but I feel like there could be a really big bounce back coming. Because I don't think he's done. I think he's too proud to play when he knows he can't. So, I mean, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. That would be a huge, shot of adrenaline to the wide receiver core.
So, with Tyreek Hill, he had that wrist injury all year. He admitted that he was playing, out of shape. He said he was heavier than what he's normally at. He probably had some baby weight because what did he have? Four kids in the off season. So
right,
he wasn't mentally prepared to play last year. But so you hear him trying to gear up and say that he's ready for this season, but he's gone out, and it seems like there's a little bit of friction between him, Tua, and McDaniels. Maybe that's just us overanalyzing it because it's the off season and that's what we all do. Or maybe there is some validity to that, and we don't see the Tyreek Hill of old.
Well, they also did talk about the wrist injury being, more serious than just a wrist injury. You know what I mean? It's not like he had a little sprain or anything like that.
I mean,
they were like, no, he really was in pain pretty much.
A wrist injury is not going to prevent you from getting targets. I mean,
Correct.
you're still gonna throw the football though. So
Maybe it makes you run slower because you have to, like, one arm is like hanging down.
And we all saw it when he got arrested, right? Like that psychologically could throw someone who seems like he's one big hit from turning into AJ Brown. That also could contribute to, some of last season.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure he's on the roster by the end of the year.
Wow, the hot take.
Well, yeah. I think if they can make the money work, I think that would be a possibility.
If there's anybody in the NFL currently who could pull off an Antonio Brown, my money would be on Tyreek Hill.
Mine would be on George Pickens.
Comes in close second.
If George Pickens was in Pittsburgh,
George Pickens is going to be very happy this year. Very happy.
So. Think
Pocket's
so?
Going to be nice and full at the end of the year as well.
His career has been very, very promising every year.
A lot of potential. All right, ready to move on?
Oh, so ready.
All right, the one guy who didn't get the memo about the team names is MD, Mr. No Prisoners.
Oh, yeah, I remember Mr. No Prisoners.
All right, so this team is quarterbacked by Jalen Hurts, and then we got James Cook, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Khalil Shakir, Garrett Wilson. Tight end, we got Pat Freiermuth. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is not going to get out, played by Jameson Williams, despite what others may say in this show. We got Baker Mayfield, Isaiah Pacheco, Juwan Jennings. For some reason, we have Deontay Johnson, Alec Pierce, Cade Otton, and we're still hanging on to Kyle Pitts. On the taxi squad, we got Cam Ward, Jaden Higgins, Tyler Warren, and then, kickers, defense, and we got all our draft picks.
Well, I will say right off the bat that I love having Cam Ward and Tyler Warren down there. Higgins, jury's still kind of out. I think he could lose that job to his old teammate.
Well, I mean, he's first going to lose it to Christian Kirk.
What's that?
I said he is first going to lose it to Christian Kirk.
Well, Christian Kirk's going to be in the slot, no?
Well, no, I'm as far as like target pecking order, he's going to be number 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think Jalen Noel could take the outside. The outside. I think he's like 2 inches shorter, but way more athletic.
I like Jalen Noel. I do. I like Higgins as well, but I was a big Noel fan.
I think you go and talk to the LA Rams and try and get a couple more running backs on this team. Deontay Johnson, for what it's worth, I don't think he's ever going to see your lineup in this league.
No. But primarily because there's no quarterback to rely on. You know what I mean? I suppose we could get Flacco of the Browns from 2 years ago. I wouldn't count on it. And that just brings everybody down. The fact that nobody on that roster is a slam dunk.
Even then, you still have Njoku, you still have Jerry Jeudy, you still have Cedric Tillman. Yeah, they're going to run the ball primarily.
Yeah, I remember in the off season, Deontay came out and said that Kenny Pickett would win that job, And I think that was wishful thinking on his part because he's worked with Kenny Pickett before. But when he said that, I was like, of all the people.
Okay, sure.
But that arguably could have been the plan too, right? Like maybe there was something when he was signing there that he heard some insider information that Pickett was going to be getting a good chance to start.
Yeah,
that's true. Or maybe he called Kenny and be like, "Yo, if you get that job, you gonna throw me the ball?" And Kenny was like, "Yeah, bro, I got you."
Kenny Two Gloves, yeah.
It's the team's a little shallow for me.
Yeah.
The bench is not impressive at all. Cade Otton and Kyle Pitts, maybe if you're streaming a tight end, one of them might make it into the lineup. But it's unlikely with Freiermuth because I don't think he's going to lose a whole lot to Jonnu.
What do you think? You think Tyler Warren's the number one tight end on this roster right out the gate? Probably.
Yeah, I do. And again, because of the quarterback situation, you know what I mean? It stands to reason that slots and tight ends are going to get the most attention. So, whether it's Anthony Richardson, God, I hope not. Get him out of the league.
I traded my last share. I traded him away. I got rid of him. No more Anthony Richardson on any of my rosters.
I mean, he shouldn't have even been drafted. I mean let's be real.
I mean, I will give you when he's starting, if I had him, he's probably going to be my starting lineup because he's going to score fantasy points. But how long is his life in the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got CFL written all over him.
Well, that's the problem that I have with Justin Fields also is that on a fantasy lineup, he looks really good. But if he's really bad in real life at winning games, he's going to lose a job.
Yeah. And he only has so much of a leash, talking about Justin Fields, right? Like, even if he looks better than he did in Chicago, that doesn't guarantee that he's going to be a starter anywhere else.
Right.
No.
Right.
The only thing that goes in his favor,
a lot more slack in his leash.
For Fields, at least he's got Tyrod Taylor. There's no temptation to move Tyrod Taylor into the starting lineup. Whereas with the Colts, you got Daniel Jones sitting there, and they're going to want to get a little taste of Daniel Jones. And even if you do start Anthony Richardson, and he can give you those big boom weeks. I mean, half the time he plays it to even make it through the end of the game. So
I'd be interested to hear, because I haven't very often, what Colts fans actually think. Like, are they just divided? Like, half of them are like, dude, get rid of this bum. And half of them are like, no, he's still going to be really good. Or like, as a fan base, are they all still waiting for him to turn that corner?
My guess is that they're probably fed up with it. They're ready to move on.
They're what?
I think they're ready to move on. They've seen enough.
And this might be not necessarily a hot take, but maybe a weird thought on it is we knew he was a raw prospect. We knew that he had mobility. We knew he had a strong arm. It was first-time head coach Shane Steichen coming in. Now with Jim Irsay passing away and his daughter taking over, that might give Ballard and Steichen one more year to say, okay, we know this guy was raw. Let us work on it. If he can ever stay out of the blue tent, maybe we can work with something here.
Yeah, he's only got 12 starts, if that.
Yeah. But,
I feel like when they scouted him, they watched him run and they were excited about having a mobile quarterback. And then they turned their back when he threw the ball.
I will say it was pretty fun those first couple of days of training camp when he was completing passes and everybody was saying, oh, is this the next Josh Allen?
Well, they
That was
had
fun for 2 days.
they had a dual practice with the Bengals in Cincinnati, and the Bengals were said they were like chiding him to throw the ball because every single snap he would just run, and they were like, "Dude, throw the ball! Like we're here to practice."
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I am very appreciative for those first couple of days because I was able to sell them off.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, I
more.
had one share. I ended up selling him last year, and yeah, pretty happy I made that move.
Yeah, I had that one share. I had so many offers for him during the season at the beginning of the season last year. Like I could have gotten Drake May plus, and I kept turning it down. And then by the time I was like, oh, maybe I should have taken it, he wasn't going to accept that deal anymore.
It was too late. What do you guys think? Is this a playoff team?
I think it's got a chance to be. I mean, a lot has to go right. We need to stay healthy. The bench, the depth is pretty rough shape, but I think we have, we got Jalen Hurts we can lean on. We got James Cook, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson.
You could do worse than
St.
Mayfield.
Brown.
You could do worse than Mayfield as a backup.
Right. And then you got some filler pieces as well with the Jawan Jennings and Isaiah Pacheco. But then after that, it's pretty murky. I think we're going to have a hard time once the injuries start stacking up, once the bye weeks hit. We're going to struggle a little bit. But, they're going to have their weeks. They're going to have their weeks. I think this is like, your 7th place team.
Yeah. I agree. I think and I think Derrick Henry is in for a really good season. But he's also got, how long can AJ Brown do this? I feel like he's 80, and I know he's not. He's not that old, but I worry about his sustainability. Same with Freiermuth now that Jonnu Smith is there, even though Freiermuth, I think, is going to get the bulk of the pass attempts. But I don't know. I think this team could sneak into the playoffs with a less than stellar record that came as a result of bye weeks.
This is going to be a team that benefits from the big play bonuses. When you see Derrick Henry rip off a big run, when you see AJ Brown have a 50-yard plus touchdown, that's where you're going to get those extra points that I think are going to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Amon-Ra, there's some really good pieces here. And I am not a James Cook fan, but he got paid. So, he's going to be looking to make it look like they made a good choice.
All right, ready to move on?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go check out the Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I am not doing Pittsburgh. I'll wait and do Seahawks.
So, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, that's a nice stack to have. Kenneth Walker, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, JSN, David Njoku, Ramondre Stevenson, Justin Fields and Brock Purdy on the bench, Zach Charbonnet, Romeo Doubs, Demario Douglas, Michael Pittman, Rashid Shaheed, Jake Ferguson, Colby Parkinson, Gus Edwards, Ollie Gordon, Alec Iomanor, and Xavier Restrepo on the taxi. And we have 1 first in 2026, 2 seconds, a third and a fourth, but he's missing his first in 2028. So there's some high-end talent there, guys. That's a good stack to have in Goff and Gibbs.
Yeah. And we got CeeDee Lamb. That's really nice trio here. CeeDee Lamb, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and T. Higgins, wide receiver. And I think, I like having a Kenneth Walker. I know Sam's going to disagree, but I like having Kenneth Walker as my RB2. He's, after Gibbs, he's going to give you those.
What I remember about this team is, even though I'm not a Kenneth Walker fan, I do like the fact that he's got Kenneth and Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah. I mean, Charbonnet is just plug and play, top 24 running back whenever Kenneth Walker's out.
Need to address a little bit of room on the bench there. It's you got Michael Pittman is probably sliding into that last flex spot, and that doesn't make me too happy there. I'm not a big Pittman fan. I don't think overall, like everybody wants to say that he was playing with a broken back, but you're playing with worse this year when it's Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a Pittman guy either.
And Jared Goff is our QB3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not wrong.
In
one QB I'm putting Fields in for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Goff is it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Ben Johnson gone. Because he could backslide pretty quick. But if he does, I like where Purdy is, and they're going to have to throw the ball. Their defense isn't as good as it usually is, or as it has been in recent years. So I don't mind that. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Drake May has the kind of season he's supposed to have, or that I feel like he's going to have. I wouldn't be surprised to see if by the end of the season he's sliding Pop Douglas into one of those flex spots opposite Stephon Diggs, and then suddenly that wide receiver core doesn't sound so bad anymore.
Yeah. Douglas he's been the consistent drumbeat at training camp. He's the guy right now.
So is this team going to make the playoffs?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think it does.
On the back of Justin Fields, absolutely.
I think this is another team to go and shore up some running back help. I'm going to talk to the Rams, and I'm gonna move off. Package some of these wide receivers. I'm gonna dump the 3.25 that is Gus Edwards on the bench, so you have a little bit more cap space. Package something up and go and get one of those vets.
Yeah,
and I think you'll be a lot more secure there.
Yeah, and Colby Parkinson, as much as I loved him last year, you could save $7 million on that, because once they drafted Terrence Ferguson, he was cooked.
he was cooked anyway, man.
Huh?
He was cooked anyway. I mean,
no, but he's
not starting over Tyler Higbee.
Look, he went into a good position. That was my whole thing.
And he did the minimum with it.
Huh?
And he did the minimum with it.
Yes, he did. That's correct. And boy, my teams suffered badly. So don't listen to me. I'm a poor excuse for an analyst, but my hot takes are always right.
All right. Yeah, this team is top heavy.
This team's, it is top heavy, but they're going to slide right into the playoffs, probably with a better seed than most, just on the strength of that starting lineup. If they all stay healthy,
it's definitely one of those situations where if you just get into the playoffs, you got as good of a chance as anybody.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Right. Sam, you going to take the Seahawks?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me flip it down here. All right, Seattle, we're starting off with Jaden Daniels. Rashad White, who is hurt right now. I don't know how bad. Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk. This team's awful.
Is that a hot take or just?
That's not a hot take. Okay, let me continue. Terry McLaurin, who I assume is going to get paid soon. Kittle should have a monster year. Travis Etienne, I hate him. Mooney could do well. It's just interesting to see what Penix does down there. Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers and Tua Tagovailoa is on the bench. Kareem Hunt,
Really
Raheem
nailed that one.
Huh?
It sounded like you were talking about some
Really-
kind of pasta there.
Really nailed that name.
Oh yeah, dude. Tagovailoa. 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 Tungavailoa.
There you go.
Tungavailoa. It's spelled tag.
I know, but there's a silent N in there.
Kareem Hunt, yeah. Raheem Mostert, yeah. Rashad Bateman, yeah. DeAndre Hopkins is done.
It's Colson Loveland.
Man, Alan Lazard. Oh, Colston Loveland.
The one good movie made, picking him up.
Schultz, Cam Akers, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, just in case Javonte Williams doesn't work out, I guess. I'm looking for Jaden Blue anywhere, and I'm not seeing him. And he's got nobody on his taxi squad.
This poor guy waited till the end, the whole hour and a half show, couldn't wait for us to talk about his team, and now he's just gonna get ripped to pieces.
He's probably sitting on his couch right now going, "Fuck these guys."
Man, like he's got Kittle and the Commander stack and no picks.
Yeah, no first in 26, no first in 27.
This is like when like the commissioner lets his son play in the league, but he's only like 6 and just like,
and then says he's making even trades with his son and completely creates this team and says welcome to fantasy.
Yeah, no wonder why the Jaguars are so stacked. That's where all the picks went.
Yeah. We're wondering where it went. We found the paper trail.
Yeah. You know, I will say, does that say K? I will say that if you are changing your starting lineup every week and still playing, then power to you, because there's a lot of people in dynasty leagues that'll be like, I'll just wait and get my first round pick and come back next year.
Hey, at least they got that Cowboys running a backfield locked up.
Yeah. Maybe if you start both Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams.
And then watch Jaden Blue just score all the points.
Jaden Blue fall down the steps.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that, by the looks of it, I don't think the strategy is going to work, but you got to be on the fucking phone every week trying to make plays make deals, and it's whatever you can get. Like if somebody's going to give you a late second in this one QB for Rachaad White, see you later. Jerry Jeudy, same thing. And then maybe around the draft, you go and try to package something up to get your 27 first back. Like you're at the cap ceiling. This is one that it's a lot of work. Like I'm looking, and the only person I'm probably keeping on this roster is Colson Loveland. Everybody else, pack your shit.
Right.
Unfortunately,
everybody else is available to make an offer,
including Jaden Daniels.
Yes. Because even in one QB,
Daniels, but make them pay through the nose for Jaden Daniels,
right?
Like multiple firsts and maybe a tear down.
And again, talking into the salary cap, like that might add or make the value even closer to superplex value when he can be your starting quarterback and be scoring as a, maybe the QB1 this year, maybe the MVP of the league, and his salary cap is 2.5 mil. Like that's huge. You can go and build the rest of your roster if you're a contender. So would you go and trade multiple late first round picks in one QB? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go and do something like that. So this one's going to be a grind. It's going to take a while. If you're going to want to donate and put in the effort, sure. It's,
Michael from the Jaguars is going to come in like, I'll talk to you about Jaden Daniels. How many first rounds do you need?
The only argument I could make on Jaden Daniels of not trading him is that salary. If you can find a way to build around that 2.5, that's going to give you a significant advantage when you've got other teams paying Trevor Lawrence $37 million and you got Jaden Daniels for 2.5.
Right.
But it's going to be hard to build that team without moving.
Yeah. But I mean, he if you are going to rebuild, which obviously you are, Jaden Daniels he's fine to keep as long as you're going to wait it out, maybe if you want to move the rebuild along faster, you trade him away. But if you wait it out, I mean, he's young and he's going to play till he's 35 plus, you know what I mean? So, you can make the argument to get rid of him if you're in a hurry or to build around him if you're going to take your time.
All right. Which team stands out to you as the favorite for this year?
Oh, come on. It's Michael's team. It's all them, Jack.
I'm not so sure that it's a slam dunk. I think he's set up the best for the next 5 years. There's some teams, those first couple of teams that we talked about, the Ravens, the Bills.
Yeah.
Those are some really strong rosters that are ready to win right now. I mean, the Ravens just came off a championship, and we were drooling over their roster just as much as we were drooling over the Jaguars.
Yep.
Yeah, and I liked the Ravens a lot because the bench is so strong. Or the bench as it appears on here is so strong. You know what I mean?
Right. And the Bills, there's Josh Allen, there's Chase Brown, there's Travion Henderson. As much, we can't fall into the trap of all the rookie hype, right? There's Quinshon Judkins, there's Egbuka, there's McMillan. All those pieces are nice, and we think they're going to produce, but we don't quite know. They might be taking a back seat for this year. They might be competing next year. All those players might turn out to be studs. One of them might be a dud. Who knows?
Well, my thing with the Jaguars is I think the longest shots to have like huge upside this year are his rookies. But you're talking about Genty and RJ Harvey, and you know what I mean? And so if they even moderately perform, he's gonna have a hard time setting a lineup every week.
He does. And that's why you can go and take all the draft capital that you have, and you can basically buy your championship with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You can
be the Yankees.
Right. Like I said earlier, you can go and tier up from Marvin a first and try and get Neighbors. You can take JT in a first and get Bijan or Gibbs. Like your options are limitless. You have the availability to trade Hampton and RJ Harvey, maybe get a vet and insulate that a little bit with a pick. Like,
yeah, I think
tough not to say the Jags.
I think the mentality has to shift now with that team from rebuild. All right, we successfully rebuilt. Now we're contender. We are aggressive, and we don't have to stockpile those first. We don't have to stockpile the young players. Let's go win some championships now.
Yeah.
If I'm Michael, I'm going to the Seahawks and I'm buying George Kittle and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be able to get it done.
and that's you can comfortably move
but not
people
if
off your
you
roster
want
to do that.
everybody to play the rest of the season.
That's right. Unfortunately, in small leagues like this, when there's somebody that may be closer to degenerate on the scale as to casual, you have these teams, right?
I mean, it's his son. All he has to do is go down the hallway and like, hey, give me your phone. I'm going to make this deal right now.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That roster is missing 2 first-round picks. What did they get for it? Jaden? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was trying to look at the
interesting.
transactions, but they were kind of jumbled.
Well, it could have been. I mean, it could have been
It was probably
any time
a
in the
previous
last
season as
several
well.
years.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I like this league.
Yeah, that's a cool league. Let's get it onto Sleeper and off of Fantrax. So we'll change our championship to week 17, and then we'll be perfect.
Change that championship to week 17, please.
That's the most important thing you got to do.
Yep.
Please. All right. Yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode. We have 2 more for this league coming up. We got 1 during the season, then we'll get a 3rd one in there as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty consensus. We like the Ravens, we like the Jaguars, we like the Packers. It'll be fun to check in with this league middle of the season, see where things are. All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely.